One of our favorite breakfasts is egg tostadas.
This goes really great with the salsa recipe that we showed recently. And so let's see how to make the egg and tostada portion.
I usually start with a 12-inch or 10-inch pan, depending on however many tostadas I want to make. I have a big family, so I tend to make a lot. And then I fill it with about a third of the way up of the pan with vegetable oil. I usually like to have some tenazas or tongs on hand and a spatula. I put it on almost high, like medium high. Once it's hot, I go ahead and put a tortilla in. It's still, I guess, getting hot right now, so wait for it to start boiling. Some safety concerns to remember is because this is a big thing of oil and the burner is high or almost high, you never want to leave it alone. So never, ever, ever leave this alone. If you need to go somewhere, shut the burner off first. Another safety concern, because we have kids, is we like to make sure that and I'm sure even when you don't have kids, we like to make sure that the handle is not sticking out, because this is one of those things that you don't want to spill.
Or little kids can reach up and...
Yeah, little kids can reach up and pull it down on themselves, so definitely keep handles in. Once it gets hot, you want to just push it down a little bit so that the tortilla doesn't start ballooning. I don't keep my spatula down all the time, because then the tortilla will start to burn on the side that's touching the pan. But I'll just submerge the tortilla like this for about, I don't know, for about a minute. And I like to multitask, so I'm going to be making more than one at a time, but the first one is going. Once it's not ballooning anymore, then I'll flip it over and add another one and continue in that way. So this one's not ballooning anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over and let it just float. Meanwhile, I'm going to add another tortilla. Don't splash it, of course, just kind of let it go in. Because it wants to balloon at the start of its frying, you want to push it down so that it doesn't balloon. So this one isn't ballooning anymore. That was only a few seconds. Once the oil is really hot, I think it goes faster. I'm going to give this one a little turn. I just want to turn them until they're slightly browned, so they've changed color a little bit, which happens, I think, when the water is completely gone and it fries a little bit more. And I'm going to fit a third one in there, push it down so that it doesn't balloon. And usually I go 3 at a time like this, and it goes really fast. If it's still ballooning, you don't want to flip it over, because then it's really hard to make it not balloon. This one's looking a little browner, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out. It's obviously hard. It'll get a little more crisp soon as it sits out. And I'll go ahead and add a third one to keep the process going.
So for you temperature nerds out there, we can check, and the oil is about 310 degrees.
If the process is going way too fast and it's browning sooner than the next one can come in, you might want to just lower the temperature a little bit. If you hold it down, if you hold the tortilla down too long, these are the spots that start to form on your tostada. It starts to get a little more cooked on the parts that are touching the pan. You can see a change in color, or a difference in the color between the tortillas that have been in the oil longer. You can tell when the tostada is done when it stops bubbling and it's nice and brown. When you're removing your last tortilla, it's really important that you're very careful. Shut off the burner right away, and slowly and carefully, if you can, either just leave the burner, off, or move the burner to the back or something. I like to put another tortilla in there if I have any leftovers, just to like soak up the heat in a sense. But I don't have any left over now, so I won't do that. And there we have our nice plate of tostadas. Next, we're going to be making eggs so that we can have our egg tostadas. To make eggs, I just grab a pan that's good size for however many eggs I want to make. For here, for us, it's going to be me and Greg, so making a couple eggs. So I just throw a little tablespoon of butter in. Some people probably use less, but I like mine nice and buttery. Once the butter has melted, crack the eggs in. Once the eggs are nice and white, you want to go ahead and flip them. If the yolk breaks, it's not that big a deal because it's going to be broken on your tostada anyway. Some people like it broken. After another minute, you can go ahead and turn off the burner and rescue the eggs, depending on how much doneness you want. Once the eggs are made, you can go ahead and assemble your tostadas. And remember that salsa we made? Now's a good time to use it.
Don't these look yummy? They really are. And some people like to pop the yolk just ahead of time so that there's not a lot of yolk dripping when you take a bite out of that part. That's like me. I like to pop the yolk ahead of time. But some people like to just, take a big bite and have all that yolk goodness in one big bite.
Yeah.
Enjoy the goodness.
Think. That's the stuff. We'll see you next time.
Hope you try it.